Welcome to an episode of Jay Leno's Garage. Today, one of the most desirable cars of all time, the 1990 Ferrari F40. This was the last car blessed by Enzo Ferrari. You know, Enzo got a little testy during the 80s. Customers complained that Ferraris are getting kind of soft and too comfortable, and he wanted to build a machine that was just an out-and-out racing car for the street, a car to compete with the 959 Porsche, which was coming out about the same time, a Spartan car, which was just about nothing but performance. No leather trim, none of that. Just something that was about going fast and handling and being the ultimate Ferrari. And I think it was the first car, I believe, to be certified at over 200 miles an hour, the first actual road car that would go 200. Because the Countachs and everything else at that period, they go to 188, 193, but this is the first one which actually went over 200 miles an hour. This one belongs to our good friend, David Lee. He's been kind enough to bring other Ferraris here. David, come on in. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome back.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
This is the car that really does it for a lot of Ferrari guys. You know, this is the last Enzo blessed ultimate performance car, and it was built to be the ultimate performance car of the late 80s and early 90s. What, 87 was the first one?
Yes, that's right.
And they went to what, about
92?
92, okay. Ultimately, they were going to build, I think, only 400 of these, but they wound up building, what,
1311.
1311, okay. Which is unusual for Ferrari because, I mean, to build twice as many cars, almost 3 times as many cars as they said they were going to build.
Right.
That's interesting. Did they not think there would be the demand for it, or what?
Well, like you said, the previous ones were like 2-something, 3-something, right? And even after there was like 2-something, 3. This particular one, I guess, like you said, Enzo was last blessed. He wanted one that more people can drive and more people can have. So he maybe made the call.
And it's hard to believe this car is 27 years old. This car sold at the time for the unheard of price of $400,000.
Oh my goodness! Oh no!
Now you're barely in the club.
Yeah.
But to buy it now, when you buy a car like this now, you can have the car or you get socks. You can't have both, the Ferrari and socks. That's how much money it takes. Most Ferrari guys have no socks because all the money goes into the
everything
car.
goes in the funnel. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm saying the socks are expensive. That extra couple of bucks.
Exactly.
But this is like one of the most beautiful ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a really good quality one. These I saw this kind of quality is fetching anywhere from 1.8 to 2 million right now.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting because the build quality of Ferrari back at this period was not that good. I mean, the engines, the transmissions, obviously the powertrain, all that was fantastic. But you know, when Honda built the NSX, their idea was to build a car with Honda reliability and supercar performance. Because back in the 80s and 90s, reliability, they didn't, you know, you just wanted that car. You didn't care. Now people won't sit for that anymore. Now you've got to have both. And of course, Ferrari now comes with what, a 7-year?
7-year warranty,
Warranty on everything, which is pretty amazing. Maybe it's safe to say started the real collector craze. Because after Ferrari died, all of these went through the roof. Because this was the last one he, blessed, put his own hand on. So what's it like to own? Is it more than you thought? Is it exciting?
You know, it's everything that everybody says. You know, it drives, even nowadays, you know, we all have the new performance car. This one still drives really exciting. And it's still, you know, and you have to keep your attention on it because it doesn't have all the computers to help you. It's really you and the car. And I have lucky to have air conditioning because there's obviously nothing else. There's no glove compartment, no radio.
Air conditioning was standard on these.
Yes,
right?
it was. But so you need that. But everything else, there's, you know, you have to roll the windows. There's no door handles.
Oh, you have to roll. Oh my God. You really have to.
You have to
actually roll. I had no idea, David. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you have to go like this.
Yeah, you gotta go like that, right?
Oh God, what a horrible! And then you have to reach over and go like this on the other.
That's like.
Oh,
so yeah, they made it to try to, you know, to do that 3,000 pound to try to keep it like that. But
I know when they originally came out, they were like 2,500 pounds.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have glass here. The original had the dopey sliding plastic window, which is I think a little too much.
The left side window, yeah.
Yeah, I mean you got to have, and it's classic Ferrari in that chassis is nothing special. It's a tube type. I remember Gordon Murray, the famous race car designer, kind of complaining that, with the exception of the engine and the powertrain, the technology of the chassis was just old school Ferrari, you know, the way they always built them. So it's kind of the last of that era with a proper, and of course, there's nothing more beautiful than the gated Ferrari shifter.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, to me, that really makes
that's
car.
like the favorite part. Yeah.
And it shows you how far we've come in 26, 27 years. This car did 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, which at the time was a record. I mean, nobody was going that fast. Now, now we're in the mid-twos with these new Ferraris and stuff. But still, there's nothing as visceral as this car. So we have a 2.9 liter V8 with twin turbos, correct?
Right.
And we're making what, 478 horsepower?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Moving maybe a shade less than 3,000 pounds. That's pretty quick. And nobody had a window like this.
Yeah, the Lexan window. And this is a very clear one too, but usually it turns yellow. But yeah, nobody had that.
To get the heat out of it, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But I used to read that people could drive for about an hour and go, okay, that's it. Because it's a lot of work, isn't it? Yeah. Because you got to go like this.
You got to do that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's, you know, this car is really special. You know, the way that Pininfarina designed it, it looks like it's going 200 miles standing still.
Exactly.
They had the carbon fiber, Kevlar, and aluminum to do the chassis and the tub. So, you know, it's really a fantastic
car. In
looking car.
1990, technology-wise, was a long time ago.
Right.
I mean, it really is when you think about it. I mean, at my age, it doesn't seem that long ago, but it really is, because Kevlar was just coming in. There was no telemetry to computers talking to one another.
No.
And I have to admit, I always love a non-airbag steering wheel. I know it's not as safe, but it's just sexier looking with the Ferrari emblem dead center in the middle there. And nothing in the car you don't need. There's no sound deadening. I mean, Ferrari went to the limit to make this weigh as little as possible. Correct?
Yeah, it did.
And boy, they did a heck. Can we open it up a little bit and see what she looks like?
Sure.
Let's open the front first and see what's in there. And these are keyed, I see. So
nobody can rip off your whatever is in the
And there's no spare tire. There's no jack, right? None of that. Okay. Actually, pretty good-sized luggage compartment compared to some of the modern supercars. It looks small now, but my McLaren, maybe you got a pack of cigarettes in there, but that's about it.
Oh, really?
But pretty clean up front. Look at I mean, nowadays you'd be packed with all sorts of computers and all kinds of, I mean, but pretty clean. You got your radiator there with your twin cooling fans.
No rack and pinion, right? Wishbone suspension.
And of course, this is before there were carbon ceramic brakes or any of that, right? There's steel rotors on this, which actually work well.
Sure.
Yeah, especially for street use. I don't think many people actually raced these, did they? This is built as a race car for the street.
Yeah, right. That's really.
And let's take a look at the engine compartment.
We'll lift up here.
Lift up here.
It's a little heavy, but.
Oh, okay, it comes up here. I see.
So it is a lot of work, Jay.
Oh, it's a two-piece.
Yeah, like those camping things.
But I got it if you want to.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's. Don't want to open that on a windy day. Oh my God! I mean, that's pretty. Yow.
Yeah. Yeah. Just have two hinges there.
Yeah. Now I don't recognize this exhaust system. Is that?
Yeah. So that's the tube exhaust. So Ferrari had a thing where, of course, they had the standard, and then you can have an option to put a tube exhaust, which makes the sound better and a little bit more horsepower.
Stainless steel?
Yeah, stainless steel. So it would normally be in this material,
right.
this kind of, and then, but of course the shiny exhaust is the tube exhaust.
Okay, there your intercoolers there, and it's a V8.
V8 twin turbo, which they did in this, of course, in this area, right, of 87 to 92, but in the production car, it just started coming out with the twin turbos.
So it's 2.9 liter. So not a huge motor by American standards, but by Italian standards, or European standards, a big engine. Not quite 3 liters.
Right.
And to get 478 horsepower from that is pretty amazing. And when and there's no traction control, there's no ABS, there's none of that.
Yeah, nope.
You know, it's so funny. Everybody talks about the F1 McLaren. Oh, it had no driver. This has no driver aids.
Yeah. No.
Oh, these are your oil coolers.
Yep. These are.
I see oil coolers in the back. Okay, very cool.
And somehow the like everything is balanced. It's really well balanced, and when you drive it, it just all comes together. It's very exciting.
And that's your oil for your
Yep.
add oil there. Of course,
Yep.
the radiators
Yep.
are there. Oh, pretty amazing.
You can put gas on both sides.
Oh, you have two tanks. Okay,
Yeah,
and they're
like it goes
joined,
joint,
right?
They join.
Yeah, okay, so you can fill up on either side. So when the wife takes us to the market, it's to kick ass and stuff
Yes.
like that. Yeah, so that's pretty amazing. And of course, there's no hydraulic lift or any of that.
No,
where you
none of
get
that.
yeah, no, this is a long time ago in the automotive world. You know, but you know, it's still an exciting design that looks. It doesn't look dated at all.
No,
I mean, you
no.
could come out with this tomorrow, and people would think it was a new vehicle. You know.
So 1990, what were you doing, Jay, at that time?
1990, I was still guest hosting the Tonight Show, and I had just bought my building here, the garage,
Oh.
and I was starting to put some cars in it. And so that was just about when I was getting started. But
Wow.
it seems like just the other day to me. I mean, if you're 30 years old, it seems like 100 years ago. But if you're my age, it just seems like, well, I bought this shirt. And I mean, yeah.
Same
Yeah.
shirt, huh?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I mean, transaxle down here, boy, it's just it's really a work of art. And this was the ultimate Ferrari when it came out.
Yeah.
And
Sure
for,
is.
for many enthusiasts, it still is. It's the last of the visceral,
Yep.
you know, Enzo, none of that fancy stuff, you know, just, yeah, exception of the air conditioning, which was a huge deal. No radio, no,
Yep.
and it's noisy in this car, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got the sound, which is what we like, because all the cars now don't have sounds. You know,
Right,
they go into
right,
the,
yeah.
Do you remember the kind of the feud between this car and the 959?
The Porsche.
Yeah, the Porsche.
Yeah, I remember this was sort of Ferrari's answer to the 959. The 959 was almost the exact opposite of this, a technical wonder or nightmare,
Sure.
depending on your four-wheel drive, all sorts of computers talking to one another. I mean, it was a technical tour de force when it came out. It was the most technical car, complicated car ever. And this was almost the simplest car ever. With the exception of turbochargers, it's just, there's nothing tricky on here, you know. It's just pretty
straightforward.
amazing. And when the turbos kick in on this, boom, it really,
it's fun.
It really comes alive. Very cool, very cool. You know, I think it's about time we got some socks and took this thing for a ride. Turn your key all the way around like that, and hit engine start.
One before?
No, this is my first F40.
All right. Nice, huh?
Very visceral. Makes all the right noises.
Yep.
Wow, when the turbo kicks in, you really feel it.
Feel it's fun, huh?
Yeah. Okay, I've only gone about half a mile, but I'm starting to get it already. Yeah, very visceral and very, very connected and light. You know, there's nothing like taking weight out of a vehicle. It just, you know, all the electronic aids in the world are great, but if nothing beats lightweight.
Yeah. It's very nimble, right? You can feel it's very...
And you feel the turbo start to come on. If Ferrari built a Cobra, this is what it would be.
Yeah.
This is almost like an Italian version of a Cobra in the sense it's big engine with a lot of power and a lightweight frame with no driver aids or assists of any kind. You know, it's so funny. I remember reading the road tests of the period, car and driver, and they would say after an hour or so the car would beat you up and you'd feel tired. But I like that experience. Maybe I just like to get slapped around. But I mean, I like a car that makes me work a little bit and do a little bit of, you know, this thing is just... This is the most Ferrari-like car I've ever driven. There's no radio because you got to listen to the motor.
Yeah.
You know, you wait for that turbo to kick in and you feel that whoosh. And it's very linear. It's nice. It doesn't. It's not like the early Porsche turbos that I think it's out of control. It's just a surge of power. Yeah, it's really something. Very, very nice.
Wow, I'm glad, Jay, you like it.
Oh yeah, I love this. This is unbelievable.
and it just so fun.
Well, I like it. You drive the car doesn't drive you.
Right.
You know, so many modern cars, you get in and everything takes over, and you just kind of hold on, you know?
Exactly.
Whereas this one, you don't use your skill properly, you're going to crash it, you're going to wreck it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's not for the poser, you know?
No.
It's just a real driver's car.
And you can't multitask in this, you know, drink a coffee, check out your phone. I mean, this one, you got to be 100%.
You can't plug in your phone, you can't do any of that.
No power assistant, right?
No, you really have to use some foot pressure to slow her down.
Yeah. So, you know, Pirelli P1 was made for this car.
Oh, is that right?
So before it was anything, was you know, they made it just for this car, and then of course it turned out to be an important line for them. But this was the car what they made it for. So I bought a Dino 246 GTS. And it's a beautiful car, but it was always underpowered, right?
Right.
So I found an outfit in the UK. He's an engineer, and he's a shop that he did 10 years ago, where he took a Dino and put a 328 engine in there.
Wow.
And used 360 parts. So now it's been 10 years. He's had the new technology of understanding. He's building me. I'm shipping the car there. He's building me a 400 horsepower 328 engine. His is 300. Mine is 400, and then he's using like the 360 vented brakes, new kind of a 360 drivetrans. Also, and then the wheels we're gonna die cast the wheels to be bigger, like the same ones are bigger, 20 inches. It's gonna be really powerful.
Wow, that is powerful.
So, but all Ferrari parts, and that should be done in 6 months. I gotta show you that car.
That'll be amazing.
It's a hot rod, and you know, something that a lot of people are gonna say.
It'll be more amazing if the English can do it in 6 months. That'll be really.
Yeah, that's
They like to take their time.
They like to take their time, yeah.
No, I love that gated shifter. It's just beautiful.
Right.
Here we go. Cars are so much better than you are.
Yeah.
Whereas this car is as good as you are and can make you better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like even the P1 or the 918 Porsche or the LaFerrari.
Yeah.
It can do all that stuff without you in it almost.
Yeah.
You know, whereas this one needs you. It needs you to work everything and do it properly.
Yeah.
And just the fun of moving this gated shifter when it engages.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like the gears in a clock. They all come together nicely. You know, I don't find it that noisy in this car. I mean, we're having a conversation.
Yeah, well, the Ferrari prides themselves on the sound that the engine makes.
Yeah.
And it's like a high-pitched kind of sound, so.
You know, whatever complaints anybody ever had about Ferrari disappear when you drive this car. Because you go, oh my God, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
I remember back when it came out, Gordon Murray sort of complained that the technology of the design, especially the chassis, was not particularly modern or up to date, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels fine to me. It's certainly way better than anything I can do. I mean, it feels strong. It doesn't feel like it flexes. Maybe it does at the limit, but if you're taking this car to the limit on the streets, you're already dead, you know? I never understood why people buy these cars that are less involving. The more involving it is, the better, you know? Well, Porsche's come back to manual transmissions on a limited basis. I would love to see Ferrari and McLaren and Lamborghini do it too, for the real enthusiast that likes to drive and likes to move the gears by hand.
Yeah, I think they might consider, maybe. Especially if they hear you saying that. So there's a story on this. So, you know, I have the 288 GTO.
Right.
And that was 1985. And then they developed, because FIA wanted to do this Group B racing, and Ferrari developed this prototype 288 GTO Evolution, which is super lightweight. It's like 2,000 pounds with 650 horsepower. And then they ended up canceling that race because it was too dangerous. And so Enzo was left with these 5 prototypes. What are they going to do? Again, that was 86, and then it really then with that idea, Enzo wanted to use that technology, develop the best road car, which
right.
of course to him is the F40, and so that technology came in. So in '87 they developed the F40. So you can just kind of see how that happened.
The best cars have always been one man's vision.
Yeah.
Whether it was the Duesenberg brothers, whether it was Henry Ford with the Model T, whether it was Packard with the V12. You know, Packard's V12 was what gave Ferrari the inspiration to do his V12. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
He was so impressed with that early pre-World War I Packard 12.
Yeah.
That was the engine that really impressed him.
Yes.
So he wanted to make his, even though they were small displacement, under 2 liter, they were V12s because they were smooth like the Packard.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of cars like this feel too big for the road. This doesn't feel too big for a nice 2-lane road like this. Even though it's a wide car, I don't know, is this much wider than a Porsche Turbo, or it's about the same size?
I think it's a little wider.
And it looks beautiful going down the road.
That's for sure.
Oh, it just has such a nice guttural howl, you know, it's really fantastic. I like that exhaust that's on there.
Yeah.
And this is a car that you'll still be able to repair in 25 years or 30 years, because I'm sure it has some computer diagnostics, but I mean, it's still basically the last of the old school, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I love.
It is.
This is my favorite Ferrari so far.
Oh, your favorite Ferrari. All right.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right. So Jay saying this is his favorite Ferrari by far. I'm so glad that I gave him that.
Oh yeah, this
really. F40. Way to go.
You know, the real test to me, it's fun to drive at normal speeds. I'm not bored driving a horrifically fast car on a 2-lane road at 50 to 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know, driving it swiftly, it's great fun. You're moving the gearbox around. You get the engine to make the sounds when you want it, not when it wants it to. You know, that's what's really wonderful.
Hey, that's a new idea, Jay. Why don't car companies make a car that we can control?
Yeah. Well, you know, so many people now don't want to drive a stick. Some people want to use a car for everyday purposes. I mean, this is a car you go out, you have fun, and you go in a big circle, and then you go back here in the garage.
Yeah, right.
You don't go to a restaurant, you go to a club.
Yeah. I was talking to a lot of young people, and you know, they've been successful, and they want to buy cars, and they have no idea how to drive a stick shift. They have no idea. They don't understand it. They don't know why it's so great. And yeah, it's interesting.
When you have an F40, you just have to blow past the camera car and then wait for them to show up. Boy, this really has the feel and the spirit of the 60 Ferraris, the 1960s Ferraris, the 275 GTB, all that, whether it's the gear shift lever or whatever, yet with somewhat modern technology, the twin turbos and the V8. I mean, it's really this is my favorite Ferrari I've ever driven so far. It's really, really impressive.
This is the last model of the V8 turbos, because after that it went to V12s.
Yeah. But you know, if somebody didn't know, if you told somebody this was a V12, I don't think they would know. Right? It's so smooth and it's so powerful.
Yeah.
So turbine-like. It's just a beautiful, beautiful engine. And it's so amazing that it's less than 3 liters. That's what's unbelievable about it. Oh, listen to that. Go looking for Porsches and stuff. You're looking for prey, you know?
Where's that 959?
Yeah. I mean, it just shows you competition makes everybody better, you know? mean, the best thing that happened to Ferrari was McLaren, because it made them, you know, put their nose to the grindstone and do the La Ferrari, because they didn't know what the P1 was going to be, so they had to build. That's what I like. Ferrari always builds the ultimate of whatever it is they're trying to build.
Well, there's a cool thing happening with Ferrari. There's this F12 Tour de France, right? So that's their new kind of front engine V12. So I'm doing this thing called a tailor-made, which is kind of a tailor-made. They have a tailor-made program, and they're making it inspired by my 250 Lusso competition. So it's going to be like a twin car, like a modern car with the, you know, that looks like my old car,
cool.
classic car.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a look at the air conditioning. You know, it wouldn't have a soul if it didn't have a little bit of a problem. But I must say, this is the most exciting Ferrari I've ever driven. I hope we got a chance to convey to you how exciting this car is to drive. I realize most people that watch these videos have never even seen one of these, let alone driven one. So I hope I was able to convey how exciting it was, how visceral it was. I mean, it has this sort of, it's quiet, it's smooth, then it has this volcanic temperament. When you put your foot in it, it literally takes off and explodes. But it feels like a real car, you know. Enzo really didn't care about road cars. He was a race car guy, and for his last car out the door was this one, and he wanted to be the ultimate Ferrari at age 90. So God bless him. It's pretty amazing. So we're going to fix the air conditioning, and he'll drive it home in nice, cool comfort while I sweat my head off driving up through the hills. So
Thank you for the gas too, Jay.
oh yeah. See, Ferrari owners don't carry any cash. It's too whatever. See you guys next week.
Mm-hmm.